Do you remember the laughter, the muddy faces, and the pure, innocent joy of the Little Rascals? For millions, these kids weren't just actors, they were family. They made the world laugh during some of its hardest years. But behind the smiles, behind the cameras, a darker story was quietly unfolding. A story filled with tragedy, struggle, and heartbreaking endings. Today, not a single one of them is still alive. So what really happened to the children who once brought so much joy? Let's uncover their shocking stories and honor the legacy they left behind. Alfalfa, Switzer, the boy with the crooked smile, born on August 7, 1927, in Paris, Illinois. Carl Switzer became world famous at just 8 years old as Alfalfa, the squeaky-voiced, cowlick-haired romantic who sang off-key with fearless confidence. He quickly became one of the most beloved stars of the series, even rivaling Spanky in popularity. But fame didn't lead to happiness. By adulthood, Carl's life had taken a sharp turn. After a short-lived marriage and a painful divorce, he struggled to survive, working odd jobs, training dogs, and guiding hunting trips for celebrities. Then came the chaos. In 1958, he was mysteriously shot in the arm while sitting in his car. The case was never solved. Soon after, he was arrested for illegally cutting Christmas trees, pushing him deeper into financial trouble. The cheerful boy America loved was now fighting just to survive. Then, in January 1959, everything ended. A small argument over just 50 turned deadly. During a heated confrontation, Carl was shot, the bullet tearing through his body. He died at just 31 years old. His death was ruled self-defense, but questions still remain. The boy who made millions laugh died with almost nothing to his name. George Spanky McFarland, the leader who couldn't escape his past. Born October 2, 1928 in Dallas, Texas, Spanky was the confident leader of the gang, smart, witty, and unforgettable. He became one of the most recognizable child stars of the 1930s. But fame followed him like a shadow, even as an adult. He could never escape the role that defined him. Behind the smiles there was pressure. 2 marriages, personal struggles, and the constant weight of being remembered as a child star took their toll. Friends said he often seemed tired, distant, as if still chasing a life beyond Spanky. In 1993, he suffered a heart attack at his home. He was 64 years old. Despite everything, he remained loved by fans worldwide. But deep down, he was a man forever trapped in his childhood image. Billy, Buckwheat, Thomas, the quiet star born in 1931, Billy Thomas became Buckwheat, the shy, lovable child with the unforgettable voice. He was one of the most talked about characters in the series. But off-screen, life was far more difficult. After stepping away from acting, Billy chose a quieter life, working behind the scenes in the film industry. Yet rumors from his childhood followed him. Stories claimed he was sometimes given sedatives during filming to keep him calm, something never officially confirmed, but deeply unsettling. As an adult, he struggled with anxiety and health issues. In 1980, he died suddenly from a heart attack. He was only 49. Just weeks earlier, he had stood on stage, receiving a standing ovation from fans who never forgot him. Matthew Stymie, Beard. From fame to addiction and back, born in 1925, Stymie was the smart, confident kid with the oversized hat. But behind his charm was pressure. His earnings supported a family of 13 siblings. As fame faded, life grew harder. He fell into addiction, crime, and spent years in and out of prison. The smiling boy from the screen was slowly losing everything. But his story didn't end there. After entering rehab, he fought his way back, returning to television and rebuilding his life. For a moment, it seemed like he had finally escaped his past. But in 1981, after suffering a stroke and a tragic fall, he passed away at 56. His life was a mix of darkness and redemption. Darla Hood, the girl everyone loved, born in 1931, Darla was the heart of the show, sweet, charming, and adored by fans. Her on-screen romance with Alfalfa became legendary. But off-screen, she faced constant pressure to stay perfect. Marriages, motherhood, and the weight of public image took a toll on her mental and physical health. Rumors suggested she struggled with body image and diet pills. Then came the shocking tragedy. In 1979, during what should have been a routine surgery, everything went wrong. A contaminated blood transfusion led to hepatitis and ultimately heart failure. She died at just 47 years old. Her sudden death stunned everyone. Norman Chubby Chaney, born October 18, 1914, brought laughter with his unique look and comic timing, but his weight became both his identity and his burden. Despite efforts to control it, a glandular condition caused extreme fluctuations. At one point, he dropped from over 300 pounds to under 140. The strain on his body was too much. In 1936, he died at just 21 years old from heart complications. For decades, his grave remained unmarked, until fans finally honored him many years later. Jackie Cooper, born September 15, 1922, was one of the most talented young actors of his time, but his childhood in Hollywood was harsh. In one disturbing incident, he was tricked into believing his dog had been shot just to force real tears on camera. The trauma stayed with him. Unlike many others, Jackie built a successful adult career and later became a director. He died in 2011 at age 88, leaving behind both success and a reminder of Hollywood's darker past. Billy Laughlin, born July 5, 1932, was known for his strange, raspy voice, but his life ended far too soon. At just 16 years old, he died in a tragic road accident while delivering newspapers. A short life, but one fans still remember. You remember Weezer, the innocent little boy always trying to keep up with the older kids. But behind that cheerful face was a childhood filled with pressure. Bobby Hutchins was born on March 29, 1925. At just 2 years old, he became Weezer in the Little Rascals. On screen, he was full of energy and joy. Off-screen, things were very different. Stories later revealed that his father was extremely strict, often isolating him from other children just to push him harder into fame. Some even claimed he was under fate to maintain his small size. As he grew older, Bobby left acting behind, hoping to escape the shadow of his childhood. He joined the military, training as a pilot ready to start a new life. But fate had other plans. On May 17, 1945, during a training exercise, his aircraft collided with another plane. Bobby died instantly. He was only 20 years old. A life that started with laughter ended in silence. Farina, the wide-eyed child who brought endless smiles to millions. But his story hides a painful truth. Alan Farina Hoskins was born on August 9, 1920. At just 2 years old, he became one of the most iconic faces of the Little Rascals. He was talented, loved, and even one of the highest-paid child actors of his time. But behind the scenes, he faced something far darker. During an era of deep racism in Hollywood, Farina reportedly needed protection from threats, even as a child. As he grew older, the fame faded. Opportunities disappeared, and Hollywood slowly turned its back on him. Instead of chasing lost fame, Farina chose a different path, helping others. He worked in rehabilitation programs, guiding people struggling with addiction and mental health. On July 26, 1980, Farina died after battling cancer. He was 59 years old. He may have been forgotten by Hollywood, but not by the people he helped. Dorothy, the curly-haired girl with a bright smile and fearless attitude. She brought energy, humor, and charm to every scene. Dorothy DeBorba was born on March 28, 1925. At just 5 years old, she became one of the standout stars of the Little Rascals. Her confidence made her unforgettable. But like many child stars, growing up wasn't easy. As the spotlight faded, Dorothy stepped away from acting, choosing a quieter life. She married, raised a family, and worked outside Hollywood, far from the fame she once knew. Unlike many of her co-stars, her life didn't end in tragedy, but in silence. She lived long enough to see generations remember the Little Rascals. On June 23, 2010, Dorothy passed away at the age of 85. She became one of the last surviving members of the cast, a rare story of survival. From Chubby, who died at just 21 after severe health issues, to Froggy, killed in a tragic accident at only 16, to Weezer, who died in a plane crash at 20, to Farina, who faced racism and was later forgotten by Hollywood, and Jackie Cooper, who survived but carried emotional scars from a brutal childhood in the industry. Their stories all share one painful truth. Fame gave them everything, but it also took everything away. These children made the world laugh, but behind the scenes, many of them faced loneliness, pressure, and pain no child should ever endure. Their lives remind us of something important. Fame is not always a blessing, and sometimes the brightest smiles hide the darkest stories. Though they are all gone, their laughter still lives on, and their legacy will never be forgotten.